Hey there, folks. Welcome to yesterday's news. Yesterday is July 26th, 2018. It is almost 12:30, and I've been working all day. I'm a little fuzzy, so I'm going to try to make it quick. Today's stories are all about social media. So we got the simple story is that Facebook took a massive dive on the stock market today and lost something like 20% of its market value in one day, like $100 billion. So that's significant. I don't know what it means in, philosophically in the world, other than maybe this is an opportunity for more competition in the market, or maybe it's going to scare Facebook into like doubling down on being Big Brother, but we'll see. So the other more interesting story is that YouTube pulling videos from Alex Jones and issuing strikes has made it into the mainstream news. This has been happening on a lot of sites, particularly I follow a lot of gun channels and stuff, and YouTube's been doing this where they've been their community guidelines are very ambiguous. They claim they're very clear and universally and fairly executed, but they're not. They're extremely ambiguous. When they issue strikes and pull videos, they don't give detailed information as to what it is that the problem is. And and in the case of Alex Jones, it's, he's obnoxious and he's goofy. They're claiming he was violent, and it's like, no, it's Alex Jones. There are members of Congress saying worse things publicly than Alex Jones. If you're gonna have the Young Turks, you have to have Alex Jones. Like, they're roughly equivalent in terms of their craziness. And, I don't like that kind of craziness, but to pull it off YouTube, I think is a little heavy-handed. And especially when you're only pulling off things that you disagree with or that are unpopular in Silicon Valley is also very concerning. And I've mentioned this before that, I don't think it's a conspiracy. A lot of people are like, there's this ideological robot that's going around trying to suppress right-wing speech. But I really think it's more social and market dynamics, because the people making the decisions are predominantly young, college-educated people living in Silicon Valley. So if you were to poll young, college-educated people living in Silicon Valley, their views are going to be on the extreme left by a wide margin. And there's a number of causes to that, and I'm not a fan of those causes. The level of ridiculousness in universities. I mean, it was bad when I was in college 15 years ago almost. And it's only gotten worse since then. It's corrupt. Political ideologies have corrupted the hard sciences at this point in universities. And so you got these kids coming out of school with, a communications degree where they've basically been taught Marxist theory from day one. And then they live in Silicon Valley, where they're surrounded by more people who've been, programmed with Marxist theory, and then they work in the tech industry, and they're not forced to actually confront the real world and the real economy, where actual manufacturing gets done and things like that. And so their Marxist theories are still not challenged. And I don't remember. I'll get into that another time. There isn't really. There's two solutions, and I talked about this before. Either we need to redistribute the decision-making apparatus for these social media platforms and get these tech centers out of Silicon Valley. And so have them staffed with people from Georgia and Texas and, Maine, in order to kind of balance those standards. Because, the interpretation of the standards is always going to be fairly subjective. These are very snap decisions being made on ambiguous guidelines. And I understand wanting to keep the guidelines ambiguous because you can't predict everything that might be an issue. But I think Plan B, what I think is probably a more viable option, is instead of having 3 categories of, okay, restricted, and banned, they need to have more categories and more. And so there's a flag for conspiracy theories, and so Alex Jones' stuff goes into that category. And if you don't want to see conspiracy theories, you don't have to see conspiracy theories. Gun content goes in, has a flag. If you don't want to see guns, you don't have to see guns. Science is stuff with potential, surgery footage like Vet Ranch. If you don't want to see that, you don't have to click that and see that. And the only way that we can have this kind of system compatible with free speech is to do it that way. Because I understand people not wanting to, the truth is, Alex Jones isn't being thrust on people who don't want to listen, even in the current system. And, I understand, with kids, but that's still a parent's job to be aware of what your kids are watching on YouTube. I'm very careful about what my kids watch on YouTube. I do not like the censorship trend, and we need to find an alternate approach. And I'm all for preventing it becoming a porn site. That's cool. There are laws on the books about incitement and copyright infringement and libel and slander, and you can apply all that stuff. That's great. But Alex Jones being a little weird, it's not that does not cross the threshold of what you should deplatform somebody for in the United States. It's just not acceptable. So, with that, continue to make your opinions known if you can towards YouTube and other social media platforms that you do care about free speech and you care about diversity of opinion rather than diversity of genome. And if you enjoy this content, like, share, and subscribe. If you find me annoying, ignore me. I did get one dislike a couple days ago. I don't know what to make of that, but we'll see how that goes. So see you all tomorrow. Bye.